If we haven't met, I'm Ellis Posner. I'm a local real estate broker. I've been licensed since 2004 and I've sold hundreds of homes representing buyers and sellers. If you like these kind of market updates, which I frequently do, you might want to check out my website, ellisposner.com. In fact, just go over the blog tab there and you can follow along with what I'm going to go over here. And most important, to keep updated, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and tap that notification bell so you find out what's going on. Okay, so over in the blog tab on my website, here's this recent post. I may change the thumbnail here, so just remember what it's called. This is the Los Angeles Beach Cities real estate market update for Q2 2024. So we're looking back at sales for the prior quarter in Q4 of 2023. That's in green here. This last quarter we just finished is in gray, and over in brown is the same time period last year. So what are we seeing? Contrary to what the media is saying, for the most part, sales have gone up from a year ago, and they've gone up from Q4. Redondo Beach is the outlier here, kind of about flat year over year in the same quarter, but for some reason, October, November, December of the end of 2023 really popped up. I think it's the affordability and the fact that the rates went down. So how about year over year prices? Now, this is a different story. Manhattan Beach, the median in Q1 2023 a year ago was 2.8. Now it's come down to 2.45 million. And you're going to see that doesn't really hold for everywhere because Hermosa went up and Redondo went slightly down. So a lot of that is just really timing issues because sometimes things close, they don't close, there's an influx of higher or lower priced properties. I wouldn't put too much weight on that, but it's an indication that prices have been relatively flat, all things considered. And before we go into the deeper dive of each city, the themes this year are low inventory and high mortgage rates. Those are the themes, and it's not going to change. So let's look at Manhattan Beach. 60 sales in January, February, March. 12 in January, 19 in February, and 29 in March. I guess it's good. Things are picking up. During this period, there were 45 single-family residents, houses sold, and then 13 townhomes and condos and 2 duplexes. When I go through these numbers and I'm talking about townhomes and condos, they're all zoned as condos in California, but what we consider a townhome is, the multi-level direct entrance, and condos are more apartment-like and flat. Questionable whether we should be including duplexes in these numbers, but I'm just going on what's in the MLS. So looking at values in Manhattan Beach, it's very important to consider where you are, of course. And the further west you are, usually the more expensive, and the further east, the less expensive. And we break it down into 6 different areas in the MLS: the sand section, the tree section, the hill section, Manhattan Village, Liberty Village, and Miracosta. The last 3 being east of Sepulveda, even though the pricing for Manhattan Village tends to follow its own kind of formula, and then East Manhattan, either around Miracosta or further north. So the sales, tree section is really popular, 17 sales out of 60, followed by sand section, more expensive, but of course super popular. There's usually fewer sales in the hill section and Manhattan Village, of course, and then a lot of activity, 21 in east of Sepulveda, other than Manhattan Village. So other kind of data points you should probably know about Manhattan Beach: 45 listings sold for less than the asking price. So that means either sellers or their agents are overvaluing properties, or the buyers have the advantage right now, or both. Now, good news is 7 did sell over the list price and 8 exactly at the list price. So, if you price it right, it's going to sell about where you priced it, or maybe even higher. Lowest price sale was $1,025,000 for a 2-bedroom condo in the sand section. The highest price was 7,550,000 for a single family residence in the tree section. Median days on market was 18, which is pretty good. And all 7 of the properties that sold for over the asking price, those were also in 18 days or less. So if you want to sell it, you got to price it right. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's got to be priced right. Let's see. New construction was 8 of the sales. So there's a lot of new construction going on in Manhattan Beach. And that helps maintain the higher price points and drive the prices. It's a really important data point to look at. Okay, well, we're still on Manhattan Beach. I'm going to shoot over to the MLS and show you kind of the back end of what we see as agents, just so you can see where I'm pulling some of this data from. So I'm going to do a search and let's do closed sales at 1/1/2024 through 3/31/2024. That's the period we've been looking at. And I'm just going to put in the zip code for Manhattan Beach. And there we see the 60 results. So this again is what the back end looks like for agents. You don't see this on any of the public facing portals, Zillow, Redfin, homes.com, realtor.com. This is what we see. And here's where I'm pulling the data for what sold under the list price and over the list price. Let's just kind of sort these real quickly, just based on price. So here was that condo I mentioned that sold for $1,025,000. That was the lowest price sale. And going back here, I'm going to resort it for the highest price. This was on Fisher Ave. It was 5,400 square feet, built in 2015. Looks very nice, right? Was listed for 7,999,000, almost 8 million. Sold at a discount to that after only 17 days on the market. Beautiful property, beautiful views, very current and contemporary. All right, let's go back to one line display. And then over here is where I sorted to show the days on market, pulling that data. And let's sort by the year built. So here's we see the new construction that I referenced. This one on Marine. You see the style people are building today. It's coastal, kind of eclectic, not quite brutalist and not quite modern, but it's what's in demand and what's popular. So that's what the MLS looks like for the back end. And the data I can easily access, you can't easily access, even though if you stick around in the video, like I said, I'm going to show you some tools that are really cool that you can access that are on my website. But this is why checking, if you're interested in property values in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, checking back on my updates on this channel as well as on ellisposner.com is useful, because this is real data, not your opinion, not what people think. This is what's really going on. All right, let's move on to Hermosa Beach. Wow, we've been looking at so much data. I had to put my glasses on. Okay, hopefully that doesn't throw you too much. Let's take a look at Hermosa Beach. So in Q1, only 32 sales, 10 in January, 10 in February, 12 in March. You know, Hermosa is usually a pretty steady market and almost never peaks up too much, almost never goes down too much in the volume of sales. There were 19 single-family residents sold, 12 townhouses and condos, and 1 triplex. There's only 3 MLS areas in Hermosa Beach. Here's the Hermosa sand section, which was 16. Sand section's popular, whether it's Manhattan Beach or Hermosa Beach. A lot of people can't tell the difference unless they see the street signs. Then you have Hermosa Valley, which is that strip between Valley Ardmore and PCH, usually the least active. And then you have East Hermosa, also known as the Hermosa Hills, on the other side of Valley Ardmore. I'm sorry, on the other side of PCH. So, other Hermosa Beach data points: 21 listings sold for less than the asking price, 7 sold over, and 4 exactly. Lowest price sale was 600,000 for a 700 square foot condo in East Hermosa. The highest was 5.9 million. I'm going to show you those when we go over to the MLS again. And median days on market was 39, so a little bit higher. And 7 of the properties that sold for over the list price sold in 33 days or less. Let's go look at the MLS for Hermosa Beach so I can show you what's behind some of this. And give me a second. I'm going to pop over there. Okay, we're back here over in the back end of the MLS. If you don't know what that stands for, it's the Multiple Listing Service, not Major League Soccer, Multiple Listing Service. Just pulling up the results for um, Hermosa Beach for the same time period. Let's start this time with the most expensive house. That's more fun, right? So 120 28th Street, gorgeous. Wow. This is what we call beach coastal, right? Gorgeous property. Yeah, you have the telephone poles, but you have the view. Can't beat that. So this one was listed for 5,950, sold for 5,900. And in this section here of the sand section, where you're this far north in Hermosa, you're almost in Manhattan Beach, those homes are going to command a premium. May sell for what the very far end of North Manhattan Beach sells for. Really great location between both the piers. And looking the other way, lowest price sale was this one on 2411 Prospect. And that's kind of, I used to work right next to that building for a brokerage called Shorewood Realtors. Again, nice entry point for getting in the South Bay beach cities. You are east of PCH, close to Artesia. Let me see if I can find a picture of the building. Yeah, that's it. Kind of dated looking, but hey, for if you're paying 600K, probably paying lower in mortgage than you pay at rent. When we look at the days on market, see as you get up higher, you see these red arrows with things selling below. Some things selling below with less days on the market. But this is misleading because this really was on the market for 61 days, then came back on and sold in 0 days. So you see some green arrows there. And as you go higher up into the days on market, you see a lot of red arrows. I mean, if it doesn't sell in the first 21 or 30 days, it's going to sell for less. Let's see about any new construction going on there. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is very interesting. I actually sold the lot this was built on. Gorgeous townhomes. Let me just jump over to my website again and show you what was there before. Yeah, so I had forgotten. I actually sold this lot. It was a really cute old duplex, and that's what it looked like before they built these gorgeous townhomes. Progress, right? I guess this is progress. Hey, if you're watching this on my channel, you can just look up this video I did. Here you go, and check it out. Okay, now we get to Redondo Beach, which is when things start to get really interesting. in part because I'm wearing my Redondo Beach sweatshirt, but I've been wearing that the whole time. So, if you've been to my website over the years, my market updates, you know that I usually divide Redondo Beach into North and South Redondo. But on this market update, I kept it as one city. Couple of reasons for that. One is that the price point between North and South Redondo isn't quite as dramatic as it used to be. And while there are still some buyers who will say they want to be in North Redondo, South Redondo is too far south, that has kind of dipped over the years. I might go back into looking at it as two separate analysis and updates, basically based on zip code 90278 for North Redondo Beach, 90277 for South Redondo Beach. But for this one, I kept it as one city. So there were 94 sales in the Q1 of 2024, 26 in January, 38 in February, and 30 in March. Kind of interesting that February, the shortest month, had the most sales, but that maybe it's close to leap year. I don't know. Um, During that period, there were 37 single family houses sold, 56 townhomes and condos, and one triplex. It's not unusual at all in Redondo Beach to see the townhomes and condos be a greater volume of sales than the single family houses, just the way it is. Um, there are eight, count them, eight different MLS areas in Redondo Beach. And in North Redondo Beach, we have what's called Villas North and Villas South. So those are east of Aviation, between Aviation and Inglewood Ave, and either north or south of Artesia. It should really be called Artesia North and Artesia South, but that's what the MLS calls it. You have El Nido, which is a neighborhood that is the furthest east, and it borders Torrance. And in fact, some of the houses in El Nido are actually in Torrance. And then you got the Golden Hills, which is the furthest west, which are the tall and skinny single family houses you see. Moving on over to South Redondo, you have the Hollywood Riviera, which is the neighborhood right on the the base of the Palos Verdes Peninsula. And some of those homes are actually in Torrance also. It's just the way the post offices work. Then you have further north, you have east of PCH, um, and north of Torrance Boulevard, east of PCH, south of Torrance Boulevard, and then you have west of PCH. Most homes sold were in the north of Artesia Boulevard, or as I call it, East Manhattan Beach. That was my attempt at humor. It's really Redondo Beach, but that's the tract, one tract over from East Manhattan Beach and just the other side of Aviation. A lot of good values there. And there's a sub neighborhood there called the TRW tract, which the MLS does not break out separately. Then you have Villas South, which is south of Artesia Boulevard. Usually a lot of activity there. The property types are kind of similar. El Nido is mostly single family houses. And as I mentioned before, Hollywood Riviera is mostly the tall and skinnies. But most of the volume is going to be in that north of Artesia Boulevard. Other Redondo Beach data points: 45 listings sold for less than the asking price, and 40 sold for over the asking price, with 9 at exactly. So that's kind of a balanced market. There are some sellers and agents pricing the properties to sell. They're even getting bid up, as you see. Others just not kind of on track with where they should be. So the lowest price sale, not including the senior housing, which you find at like 2750 Artesia Boulevard and 2001 Artesia Boulevard, was 660 for a one bedroom, 669 square foot condo in Brookside Village. And the highest was 3775 for a single family house in the Hollywood Riviera, which that one was actually in Torrance, even though again it has the Redondo Beach mailing address. Let's zip on over to the MLS and take a look at that real quick. Okay, so we're looking now at the results for Redondo Beach for the same time period. Look at all that red, look at all that green. Let's go on price. So I mentioned there's some housing that's restricted. You have to be over 55, and so I'm not really counting these in the. I'm counting them in the total numbers, but not in the higher or lower priced. I'm just starting with the slowest priced, being this one, 660 in Brookside Village in South Redondo Beach. And Brookside Village again is a great entry point for a lot of people buying in Redondo Beach, nicely staged. And a lot of people buy those properties, and then later on they keep them as rental properties. There's a pretty good amount of folks doing that. And then at the high end, we had this one in Calle de Arboles. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly because I once sold a house there. It's Arboles, I don't know. Um, Again, that coastal modern style everyone likes. This house was built in 2021, so relatively new, and it resold. Some other things we can do in the MLS, I know you can do this in some of the public portals, is we can look at the history. So we can see what it sold for originally and all that. And you see that a lot of that data gets outported or imported or some ported to the Zillows and the Realtor.coms of the world as well. So this whole Hollywood Riviera area, as I mentioned, some of the homes here might be in actually real Redondo Beach, but a lot of them are in Torrance with Redondo Beach mailing addresses. And the way we can tell that is, well, I'm not going to go into the tax because I don't want to show you anything confidential about anyone. But trust me, a lot of them are in Torrance, meaning Torrance services, Torrance schools, Torrance police, Torrance fire department, which is fine. If we look at the days on market again, you'll see that fewer days on market means it's sold at the asking price or above, and longer you're on the market. Let's go over here to the end. These are all selling below the asking price. So the biggest mistake a seller can make is overpricing initially, and the biggest mistake buyers usually make is thinking they're going to get a property that's new first week on the market for less than the asking price. So that was Redondo Beach. And now I'm going to show you some of those tools on my website that I said are really useful and you can use anytime to check some of this stuff for yourself on your own for free. Okay, so now we're back to my website and the blog post we've been referencing. And let's kind of scroll down here to where you see these. Here's some other useful Manhattan Beach links: Altos market reports, current listings, how much is your Manhattan Beach home worth. You'll see the same kind of links down here: Hermosa Beach market reports, current listings, how much is your Hermosa Beach home worth. And then down here, there's even more for Redondo because, as I mentioned, there's just more of Redondo. So I'm going to show you how you can access those without even going to the blog post and use those tools. Let's do that next. Okay, so if you're on my website and you pick the reports tab on lsposner.com, just pick the reports tab. I have some preset, and actually Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach is preset. I need to add some more there. Probably by the time you watch this, you'll see more. And then there's also a guide on how to use these reports and interpret them. But let's actually do one and see what that looks like. So we're just going to type in the zip code for Manhattan Beach. And there you can pull this up, view report, and it brings you right over to this. Now, these Altos market reports are quite well known. You'll see a lot of agents using them and a lot of lenders, title people, whatever. I make it free on my website. You can go to the website and use it anytime you want. If you want to subscribe to that, that's different than subscribing to the channel. You can do that, or if you want to call me or share it, that's fine. But they're useful to use, and they're updated continuously. I'm doing this one on Monday, April 8th, 2024, which there's also a solar eclipse today, but we're not going to see all of it in California. So I'm inside here with my lighting and the windows shade down, so whatever. So first thing you'll see is this market action index, which tells you if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. And this is speaking in general for Manhattan Beach based on the data they have. And it's kind of a slight seller's advantage, which I would agree with. Now, this is though only showing you houses and not condos. Remember, condos and townhomes, those are different. And those are more of a seller's market. Let's go back to houses. So just remember when you look at this to choose either one of these two tabs. Shows you the median list prices. These might be slightly different than what I indicated. And these are interactive, as you see. They might be slightly different than what I indicated in my update because I was just blending houses and condos together, which is why this report is so good. Shows you the median list price, the median price of new listings. New listings are coming on the market for less than the median price of existing listings. What does that mean? Well, that means the higher price listings aren't selling, or yeah, the lower price ones are going quicker. Median days on market might be different than mine because this is looking at just houses for this one, single family residences. Nice thing here is you got a bunch of other reports. Average days on market. You've got price per square foot. I didn't discuss that in the market update. You've got properties with price increases and decreases. Now, here's another cool feature. You click, let's go back to, let's say, let's go to inventory. And let's click this market segments. Now, this shows you in each market segment, meaning the price, what's going on there. And that is more useful sometimes, again, than everything blended. Let's look at a different one. Let's look at the median list price. So this is a better example. It shows you, wow, the median list price on the high end has gone way up. The others are kind of flat. And I would agree that, at least as of now, the time I'm doing this, that in these segments, yeah, things are kind of flat. Let's look what that looks like for condos and townhomes. Yeah, same thing. We're seeing at the high end a lot more volatility than in the medium segments. This down here shows you the segments. So that is a quick overview on how to use the Altos market reports. There's a much deeper, in-depth overview on this channel you can find, and I'll probably do a blog post with a deeper overview as well on my on the website at some point. But if you like watching videos, check the one on this channel. All right, let's move on to the next free tool you can use on ellisposner.com. Okay, so there's not a link to this home evaluation up here, but if you scroll down on the home page, you'll see that. Or if you just want to look up here, it's ellisposner.com/home dash values, but you'll find a link to it on the first page. So this report's kind of different. It's kind of cool. Let's see. I'm going to take a property that, well, it's one of my clients' income properties in Manhattan Beach. So you see, as you start to type it in, it brings it up. We're going to select that and give it a minute to load. It's a lot of data it's pulling. So this is kind of cool. It gives you 3 different valuations. A lot of times you also get this street view with the video going. Gives you 3 different valuations from 3 different, that's the house right here. Gives you 3 different valuations from 3 different sources, and they're typically going to be different. And so let's see. This one, I'll give you a little disclaimer there, but they give a range and they give a value. And that's because with all of these automated valuation systems, whether it's the Zillow AVM or it's the Zestimate Zillow does, or it's anything you see on any other site, they don't know the condition of it. Now, you can also kind of play with this. So this one does need work, so it's okay. Gives an estimate of the equity. That's typically incorrect, but kind of what you can do with it. And down here, it gives a heat map of buyer activity in different areas. This is really kind of cool. What the supply side trends are in nearby recent sales. So this is a very interesting report, and there's a couple of other AVMs on my website as well, but this one I like because it gives you three values. And of course, okay, here's a little bit of a sales pitch. The only way to really figure out the value is call me and I can give you a broker's price opinion. And maybe that's a little bit more useful than some of these automated valuation models, but everyone likes to play with these, including me. So, wow, we covered an awful lot. My timeline is telling me that was like 30 minutes. I don't know if I could talk that much. And it looks like the battery in my laptop's getting kind of low too. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I just really only scratched the surface of everything I could be telling you about the current market. You may be watching this way after it was filmed. You may be watching it when I upload it and post it on YouTube. But, you know, there's a lot of nuance, and we're in a very kind of transitionary, turbulent market. Rates are going to come down, and people think prices are going to go up when the rates come down, and more buyers are going to jump in the market. Truth is, no one knows for sure. So here's what you do need to know. If you're a seller, each home is unique, each property is unique. And if you want to find out how to maximize what your net profit is going to be or your net proceeds when you sell it, give me a call. You may even want to work with me. I list and sell a lot of homes. And if you're a buyer, you know, yeah, you can go to all the websites and you can see all the listings and do whatever, but you don't know what's in my head. I've been doing this for a long time. I've sold hundreds of homes in all kind of different market conditions, and it's time for you to buy or sell. Give me a call. I'm easy to work with, a lot of experience, no pressure, and I think you'll really be happy with results you can count on because just remember, I'm trusted, experienced, and local. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Looking forward to meeting you.